Good evening, everyone. Very pleased to be here with Trent. He and I have been the co-convenors of the Armenian country group for quite a number of years now. I don't know how many, and it's been wonderful working with Trent in support of the Armenian community and, of course, in recognition of the events of 105 years ago. Tonight, of course, we also welcome those from the Greek and Assyrian community, and we look at the banner there, Joint Justice Initiative. That is no small task, particularly given the denial and the resistance you've encountered as a people over so many years. We acknowledge all those who have had loved ones affected by the events of 2015, and we share your sorrow with you. I think the very important thing about Trent and I being up here tonight and having Anthony Albanese here and Paul Fletcher here as a representative of the government, and having a person in Christina Keneally here who was a New South Wales Premier and at that time and still a great friend of the Armenian community, and then therefore by extension the Greek and Assyrian communities as well. Trent and I suppose in the end, as well as enjoying the company and giving more general support to the communities we think about tonight, have one joint objective in a shout out of bipartisanship. And that is that before we leave this place, sometime sooner rather than later, we hope that the Australian Parliament will stand as one and recognise 2015. Thank you, Trent. That's the extent to which bipartisanship extends. He helps me out from time to time. 1915, what it was, what it means. A lot of people lost their lives for no other reason but for their ethnicity. That, by any definition, is genocide. And it's time not just this Parliament but the global community came together, Trent, and recognised it as just that. All the very best.
Thank you, Joel, and I also want to acknowledge my parliamentary colleagues who are here in such large numbers tonight, and particularly Paul Fletcher and Anthony Albanese and Christine Keneally, who's been a steadfast supporter of the community as well. Tonight is a historic night, an important one, and I'm also pleased to see it's a very colourful night as well. And I have to say, if you have some more of the Armenian brandy, it will look 10 times more colourful. But it is wonderful that we have these three communities coming together tonight in this historical pact to push for what is, as Haig says, such a righteous cause. Last year, I had the incredible honour of travelling with John Alexander and Tim Wilson, I'm sure will be here later, to Armenia with the Armenian National Committee, and I have to say that one of the most moving experiences of my life, only matched by visiting Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, was visiting the Armenian Genocide Memorial in Yerevan, and having the incredible honour of becoming the second, I think, second group of federal politicians to plant a tree of all of those who perished during the genocide. And of course, tragically, the experience of the Armenian community was shared by so many in the Assyrian community and the Greek community, where you saw in an act of evil an attempt to commit what we now know as, and always was, genocide against people because of simply who they were. Tonight is an opportunity for us to reaffirm our desire to see Australia play its part in recognising those events of 1915, because as the young man from Sydney Grammar, I've forgotten your name, I'm afraid, but in good company, Paul Fletcher was a grammarian, and a certain recent former Prime Minister was as well, I know. But as you said, a world that doesn't learn from past genocides can never really hope to avoid them in the future. And in that region, we saw what was perpetrated against, for example, the Yazidis, and we know that genocidal spirit is sadly still part of the ethos of some extremists within our world community. So can I just, on behalf of Joel and I, again, thank you for being here tonight. It is such an important cause, and with all of our collective efforts, hopefully we will see the day in our parliamentary careers, which Joel and I intend to be long and illustrious. We will see the Armenian genocide, the genocide perpetrated by the Ottomans against the Armenians, the Assyrians and the Greeks, properly recognised by this Parliament as it should be.